Right now, ice fishing season is quickly approaching. How you can stay safe on the lakes while you're hooking your big catch.
And we continue to sit underneath some very cold temperatures and wind chill values. These are our current wind chill values. We could be feeling even colder Sunday morning when the Arctic air moves on out in the full forecast.
Plus, the Mad City Wheelchair Basketball Invitational is taking place in Verona this weekend. We'll catch up with some of the players. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Well, if you stepped outside, then you know you got to wear your hats, your gloves, get some hand warmers, and hopefully you started up your cars before you hit the road because it is freezing outside. To see how long that's going to last, let's go ahead and get a look at your first warm forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect?
Well, the alert day conditions are through at least Sunday, so we are going to continue to feel cold, not only in air temperatures, but wind chill values, anywhere between 20 to 30, 35 degrees below zero. Waking up on Sunday. That cold weather advisory, again, these are replacing wind chill alerts, still remains in effect until 10 a.m. on Sunday. But even after that, it is still going to feel cold outside. Take a look at what it may feel like as we go into the morning hours on Sunday. If you're up early, many of us feeling between 20 to 30, 35 degrees below zero. As we head into the afternoon, not as cold feeling as where we were today, but still a few degrees to about 10 to 15 degrees below zero. By Monday, southerly winds take on over, and at least those morning wind chills won't be as bad. 30s and 40s are in the extended forecast. When they return and how long they stick around for, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you then. And with the weekend weather, it calls for some extra layers, but with warmer temperatures on the horizon, the question of safety on our lakes for ice fishing remains in question. Our Nash Dara reports.
The freezing cold winter weather has arrived. It might not stick around for long, but it is a glimpse into the future for the upcoming season of ice fishing.
When the ice finally comes, that opens up a whole new style of fishing for folks, and ice fishing in the Madison area is very popular. We have some of the best fishing in the state, in my opinion. A lot of folks are excited to get out on the ice.
Around Dane County, a good amount of the smaller bays are completely frozen over and safe for fishing. But the question for the big lakes, Mendota and Monona, well, they could freeze over any day now with the temperatures we are experiencing.
Both the big lakes freeze over every year. Some years it takes a lot longer than others. Some years it comes very close to not freezing. This year, we are looking at potentially being froze over earlier than I've ever experienced it myself here in Madison. It's an exciting time, but I would always urge people to use caution no matter where they fish or what they're doing on the ice.
For reference, Pat also told me that usually Mendota and Monona don't freeze over until after New Year's.
Generally, they say that 3 inches of ice is safe for foot travel. There's no specific formula as to how much ice we make given the temperatures we've had. It's going to start making ice here real quick. I know we've been making ice the last couple nights. Lake Mendota, the biggest lake on the chain, always takes longest. It is mostly wide open right now. But if we had a really calm night and these bitter cold temperatures, she would lock right up and we'd start making ice.
So very soon we could see tents scattered out on Lake Mendota and Monona, but until then it would be best to stick to smaller lakes and ponds. In Madison, Nash Dara, News 3 Now.
All right, sounds good, Nash. Thank you. And make sure to stay safe out on the ice and in the cold. For more information on those safety tips, go to the Wisconsin DNR's ice safety page online. And due to those cold temps and air, the Henry Vila Zoo is canceling its light show this weekend. People with tickets will be automatically refunded. The lights are reopening on the 17th, running through the 23rd. Tickets are $12 per person, and children 3 and under are free. In the Madison area, the Salvation Army of Dane County offers an emergency family shelter on Milwaukee Street and a single women's shelter on East Washington Avenue. Porchlight offers a drop-in shelter on Zaire Road. For more information and extreme weather resources near you, visit 211 Wisconsin online. And with these freezing temps and winter weather, you can track the forecast every day for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It is hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. 2 local nonprofits teamed up this weekend to host a multi-state wheelchair basketball tournament. Our Maya Tate went to Verona to check it out.
For the 4th year in a row, Dairyland Sports is putting on their Mad City Invitational, a 5-state, 15-team youth wheelchair basketball tournament.
Dairyland Sports is a nonprofit that focuses on promoting adaptive sports and education.
Realizing the lack in wheelchair basketball tournaments in the Madison area, Dairyland Sports founder and vice president Deb Jenks and her team partnered with the Mad City Badgers wheelchair basketball team to create the Mad City Invitational.
There's a lot of events and local competition for athletes without physical disabilities, and we're really trying to promote and educate and make those same events and sports available to people with physical disabilities.
Athletes ranging from elementary through high school come to Verona to compete in the Multi-State Invitational, seeing teams from Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota, Illinois, and Michigan.
I love the group that I have and the community that Metro Basketball brings to other disabled athletes. We just want the same common goal, which is to win, have fun, play hard.
But being a part of a wheelchair basketball team is about more than just playing games and going to practice. Mad City Badgers player Megan Eggstead credits her coach and the sport with helping her achieve her goals.
We're like a big family. I've gained dads, I've gained moms that all understand what I'm going through. They also encourage us to be independent. Something I didn't really have was that strong independence.
Every team playing this weekend has the opportunity to make it to nationals at the end of the season.
Maya, thank you. The Invitational runs through the end of the weekend. And there's really not too many things better than puppies. So how about spicing up your daily exercise routine with a dose of doggy joy? That's what Shelter from the Storm aimed to do today with their holiday puppy yoga fundraiser. There were 2 beginner-friendly yoga sessions, one for kids and the other one for adults. All the puppies were up for adoption. After the fun, participants cozied up with some hot cocoa and some baked goods.
We've done it before, just kind of as a way to get some exposure for our adoptable animals. It's a great socialization opportunity for them, and then just gives us an opportunity to spread our mission within the community as to what we're here for, what we provide, and ultimately ways that they can support us.
Shelter from the Storm is a Madison-based nonprofit that specializes in rescuing animals with significant behavioral or medical needs. The money from today's fundraiser will go directly to the animals that they serve. In 2025 alone, they've taken in more than 1,000 in need. And just a heads up, you can watch the Packers take on the top-seeded Broncos right here on WISC TV News 3 Now. A welcome close to 60-degree day will be in Denver as the game kicks off right here at 3:25. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, the Blaze returns with more on the bitter cold facing southern Wisconsin. Plus, a shooting on the campus of Brown University, what authorities are sharing at this time. And the Department of Agriculture has approved 6 more states for waivers that can ban food stamps from buying sugary and specific drinks. That after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
The campus of Brown University is on edge tonight after a deadly shooting this afternoon during final exams. At least 2 students are dead and several others injured, and the shooter is still on the loose. CBS News' Natalie Brand has more from Washington.
The first 911 call came in shortly after 4 p.m. local time with reports of an active shooter on Brown University's campus in Providence, Rhode Island.
I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon, and there are another 8 in critical status, though stable, at Rhode Island Hospital.
The suspect, who wore all black, has not been caught.
We do not have a shooter in custody at this time. There is a shelter in place in effect for the greater Brown University area.
Officials say the shooting took place in Brown's Barris and Holly building, which houses classrooms and labs for the university's physics and engineering departments. Students were taking final exams in the building at the time of the attack.
We're still in the finals period, so students who didn't have exams have left, but we are still conducting.
President Trump says he's been fully briefed.
What a terrible thing it is. And all we can do right now is pray for the victims and for those that were very badly hurt, it looks like. And we'll inform you later as to what's happening, but it's a shame.
Providence officials say this shooting, especially at this time of year, will take a heavy toll.
We are a week and a half away from Christmas, and 2 people died today and another 8 are in the hospital, so please pray for those families.
Officials say the university did not receive any threats in the hours leading up to the attack. Natalie Brand, CBS News.
Authorities are sifting through video captured by university security cameras and neighborhood ring cams in search of images of the gunman. They are also working to interview survivors in the hospital to learn more about the shooter and a possible motive. It's currently unclear if the shooter acted alone. Holiday shoppers and travelers are doing more than just spreading holiday cheer. They're also spreading around germs. According to new CDC data for the week ending in December 6th, the proportion of doctors' visits for flu-like symptoms rose to 3.2%. That's above the threshold that signals flu season is officially underway. The majority of flu cases are caused by a mutated strain called subclade K. The variant is responsible for early and busy flu seasons in Asia, Europe, and Australia. Experts also say that the strain causes more severe illnesses, particularly among older adults. The Department of Agriculture has approved 6 more states for waivers that ban using food stamps to buy certain sugary foods and drinks. That includes Hawaii, Missouri, North Dakota, South Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. Overall, that means more than a third of all states will soon limit those purchases. Currently, Wisconsin is not under that waiver. The Agriculture Department has been approving waivers since May. They prohibit the use of SNAP benefits to buy items like soda, energy drinks, candy, and prepared desserts. The restrictions will most likely go into effect next year, impacting around 14 million people in 18 states. The list of prohibited items vary from state to state. Waivers typically last 2 years, but can be extended. The National Grocers Association says waivers may be approved in 11 more states. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first warn forecast. Again, hopefully you guys have got some gloves and some hats as we enter the overnight hours and tomorrow. Blaze?
Yeah, it is going to be a cold night, dipping anywhere between 5 to about 15 degrees below zero, partly cloudy conditions and breezy. So we're going to lose a little bit of that heat. And believe me, we did get a little bit, emphasis on the little, today back into the atmosphere. Coupled with the snow on the ground and northwesterly winds, that is going to cause for our coldest wind chills over the weekend to occur tonight into the start of Sunday. Sunday is going to be sunny, but like today, it is going to be cold. Next week, though, this Arctic blast will be a thing of the past as temperatures climb back into the 30s and maybe the 40s by midweek. So if we're waking up early on Sunday, 25 to 35 degree below zero wind chills can be expected. That can cause frostbite to set in within about 10 to 30 minutes. So limit your time and your pet's time outdoors, especially during the morning hours. As we head into the afternoon, not as bad as some of our wind chills this afternoon, but still below zero, about 5 to 15 degrees below zero. Southerly winds take on over as we head into Monday. Breezy, so there will still be a bit of a wind chill, but those morning wind chills are not in the 20s or 30s below zero. Now we're just a few degrees below zero waking up on Monday, and then by the afternoon we'll get into the 20s, but it will still feel a little bit on the chillier side. We say goodbye to all this cold air by Monday. This Arctic high pressure system will continue to push off towards the southeast as we head into Sunday and then further into Monday. Monday, partly sunny to mostly cloudy. We're starting to get a little bit warmer. A little system is going to move through southern parts of Canada. We may get a brief wintry mix shower there into Tuesday evening. Not expecting much in the way of accumulation. As temperatures warm up, our snow chances next week turn more over to rain or at the very least a wintry mix chance. As we hang out in those mid to upper 30s Wednesday and Thursday, that's when our next system looks to move on in, especially Wednesday night into Thursday. So again, temperatures being as warm as they are, we're expecting more of that rain-snow mix turning over to pure mix and then eventually snow as temperatures drop throughout the day on Thursday. So let's jump ahead on Future Track into the middle of next week. This is when the larger system over the next 7 to 10 days looks to move through the Midwest. There's still going to be some wiggle room in this path. Maybe we get more of a rain-snow mix to start. We'll just have to see as we get closer to the middle of next week. But at least for now, it's looking to be on the warmer side. We'll do a little bit of melting with that rain. As we go into Thursday, colder air is going to be moving on in. So we'll start off the midnight hour going into Thursday at our warmest. Throughout the day, we cool on down. That turns any remaining moisture back over to a mix and then eventually completely over to snow as this system moves its way through the Midwest. If this path is a little bit further to the south, we'll likely get more snow than rain, or at the very least a rain-snow mix. At least for now, it's consistently been a rainy start turning over to mix, not a snowy start and a snowy end. So stay with News 3 Now. We will keep you updated. That's really the big system that we're keeping an eye on here, and it's not going away. It's been in our showing up in our weather models, I would say, for the last probably 2 to 3 days. So it's safe to say Wednesday into Thursday will likely get impacted. Temperatures, especially overnight, are going to be warming up. So I know Nash talked to anglers out on the ice. If you are one of those folks who want to get out on the ice, I would just use caution, especially later into next week. Bodies of water will hold on to warmth a little bit longer, so that ice may be thinner, but it will certainly grow over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably speak for myself and Kay, but seeing that we could be pushing 40 later this week, like the sigh of relief couldn't be any louder.
You mean you don't like single digits, freezing as you get into the car,
the
30 below zero wind chills?
What I don't like is when I like preheat the car
and it doesn't really even feel
and
warm.
You know, and I go back out there and I still gotta like sit in there for it to warm up a little bit more. Or I gotta drive over to a gas station and like fill up the air in my tires. That's where I'm like, all right, this is a little much.
It has been tough, but thankfully it's on its way out.
Yeah.
30s and 40s soon.
And with that being said, the Packers, they're not going to be in town this week. Luckily for them, they're going to be out in
60s out in
Denver.
Colorado.
60s, while the rest of us sit here and freeze. But outside of that Packer game going on, what do we have going on in sports?
Coming up next in sports, how the Badgers did on the road. That and more next on News 3 Now. After coming off a big rivalry win, Wisconsin men's basketball was ready to hit the road and face Nebraska. And you could see it from the start as John Blackwell drains a three, and then Andrew Rohde was right behind him from the corner of the court hitting a three. But this game would quickly turn into the Cornhuskers' favor, sealing this one 90-60, a 30-point feat that Coach Greg Gard knew was caused by one particular thing.
We don't have a defensive identity. Haven't had one all year. So we'll search to find one, and I'll find guys that want to play defense. Sit guys on the bench. We'll find out in the next 9 days, right? We haven't had a defensive identity all year. Everybody gets all rah-rah about our offense, but it's the other end of the floor that's caused us the trouble for the most part.
Crazy 8. That's the number heavy on Wisconsin volleyball's mind after they've made it to the Elite 8 for the 8th consecutive season. The Badgers are set to take on Texas tomorrow at 6:30, a matchup that is not going to be easy for the Badgers, but seeing the level of intensity they played with has head coach Kelly Sheffield impressed.
That's what the Sweet 16 should be about. I mean, just two teams that were just battling like crazy. I mean, that was the level of talent out there on the court and the level of play out there. I mean, that easily could have been a Final Four match. You know, it's unusual to see that high level and back and forth in the Sweet 16.
And also for Wisconsin volleyball, the legend Sydney Healy continues her pro career as she heads to Omaha to play for the Supernovas. But Healy's time as a Badger was legendary with so many awards, like 3-time Big Ten Setter of the Year, 5-time All-American honors, being on the runner-up team in 2019 to helping the Badgers win their first national championship in 2021. Her Badger roots run deep, and she's proud of how far this season team has went.
They're a really fun team to watch right now. I think they're dangerous. I really can see them going to the Final Four. I mean, they have a tough road ahead, obviously, with Stanford as their first matchup, and then if seeds hold, they would play Texas to go to the Final Four. That's a really tough route, but I think they can do it, and I'm rooting for them all the way.
And a big game tomorrow. Tune in at 3:25 p.m. as the Packers take on the Broncos right here on Channel 3000. How about that, Jalen?
I mean, this could be a potential Super Bowl preview.
Oh,
I mean, you've got two of the top seeds in all the NFL. I mean, it's that time of the year where teams are really starting to take shape and take form. I think this will be a great test for Jordan Love and the Pack.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, if the Packers actually pull this off, there's really going to be conversation about them coming the next couple of weeks.
I mean, the Broncos are the 1 seed.
Yeah.
If not for that tie with the Cowboys, the Packers could very well be the 1 seed in the NFC. I think heading into tomorrow's game, it'll really be a testament on the Packers receiving core.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed back another week. Christian Watson has really turned it on, going up against that Broncos secondary. Patrick Surtain, Riley Moss, Jahdae Barron, Talanoa Hufanga.
They're tough in the secondary, yeah.
And playing in Denver is no joke. So if you could win there on the road, I like your chances anyway.
No, yeah, I definitely would love the Packers' chances.
Who do the Packers need to step up for tomorrow's game if they want to walk out with a W?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I'll definitely say J. Love.
J. Love, yeah.
He needs a big day. He needs to have a big day to go against Bo Nix and have his offense clicking better than the Broncos.
Yeah.
He's going to have a big day.
I think I'm with you on that one. My close second will be Micah. You give up all that for Mike, you got to show up every week.
Yeah.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Kay. A final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return. Finally, tonight, a Virginia cat cafe called the I got to roll my R's here. The Perfect Bean is temporarily closed after flooding, not caused by bad weather or a broken pipe, but a mischievous feline. While most cats hate water, this 5-month-old tuxedo cat Roller doesn't. The cafe's owner believes he plugged the drain with a towel before turning on the faucet, overflowing the room. The Perfect Bean is hoping to reopen before the new year. Right now, the kitties are in foster homes as they wait for the rebuild to be completed. I've got a quick story about a mischievous cat. So when I was a kid, we had a cat named Princess.
Okay.
And Princess, my mom did not believe me, but Princess would like get a running head start, jump on the couch, and then jump on our Christmas tree and knock it over.
Okay.
So one day my mom comes home and she's like, "What did you do?" I said, "Mom, it wasn't me, it was Princess." Fast forward a week later, we're all watching a movie in my parents' bedroom, and we just hear this crash. We walk out there. Princess.
Scene of the crime.
And I'm like,
caught in action.
I'm like, hey,
in 4K.
Hey,
in 4K.
That discipline I got last week, I'm gonna need a refund.
Yeah.
Because now you see that.
And did you?
It was No.
Were you absolved of your crimes?
No. I was a bad kid.
I'm sorry. Well, no real segue from that, but it will be cold tomorrow. 20s on Monday.